Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today, I've borrowed this 2021 Land Rover Range Rover Sport HSE Silver Edition from my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport. And just a quick little history lesson on the Range Rover Sport. It originally came onto the scene as a 2005 model, and this is the second generation that came out in 2013 of the Range Rover Sport. And a lot of people might say, well, man, it needs an update, and that may be coming in 2022 from what I've read and researched. Don't hold me to that, but at least that's what the internet is saying. But here's the thing that's kept this model viable among buyers. While there haven't been any major changes to the exterior in the last several years, the additions and changes as far as technology and available features, such as safety features, and I will list all of those on the screen, that is what has kept this model as a popular seller. And of course, it does have the LED headlights and signature daytime running lights. But the main thing I really like here on the front end, on a lot of vehicles, when you look at the upper and lower grille, they're going to be open. But these vents on the side, they're just what you would call faux vents. Not the case here. As you can see, that is open. I always feel like if that vent's going to be there, it might as well be functional. And believe it or not, these also are functional vents on the hood. Even though there's just a little bit of air coming out, heat can actually get out through this little outlet right here on both of the vents here on the hood. Of course, what's producing that heat is what we're going to take a look at next. It's here under the hood is the turbocharged 3-liter 6-cylinder, 355 horsepower and 365 foot-pounds of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And of course, this model is all-wheel drive. Horsepower definitely not a problem with this particular model. We'll take it out on the road in just a while and do a quick test drive just to show that off. A quick look here at the interior, and we'll do a little bit more involved tour in just a little while. Just give you a quick look at what we have here. Of course, very nice materials, very high-end, and of course, a panoramic sunroof. And as I open the power rear lift gate, I'll put the cargo numbers and towing capabilities on the screen. Of course, you can lower those rear seats. And as we look around here, there is a 12-volt power outlet. Just a quick look around, and there's a lot of stuff back here for the vehicle. And you can lower the vehicle if you want to. I hope you can see that is lowering down. It's going to lower it all the way down, and we'll take a quick look. So if you're unloading cargo from the rear, as you can see, you can drop that down and make it a lot easier to gain access to whatever it is you have in the rear area here. And you do have a cargo cover right here if you want to conceal something away, or you can remove that cargo cover if you wish to. Not difficult to do at all. Basically, all you're going to do is pull back on the release right here, and then you can pull it out completely. You can also lower those rear seats. In fact, I'll take you back here and just show you real quick. When it comes to lowering the rear seats, all you're going to do is pull up on this little latch right here, and the seats will fold flat, and you can maximize your cargo space that way. And while there's a lot on top of that floor, it's going to be hard for me to show you what's underneath, but there is a full-size spare underneath. We'll close down the power rear lift gate. And these are 19-inch alloy wheels. And just a really nice look between the black trim and the Fuji white exterior. And as we take a quick look at the door, of course, seeing the speakers on the door here, this is the Meridian surround sound system, so you're going to get great sound quality in this model. And of course, you do have the map pockets on the rear of the seats. Good bit of storage right there. And as we look at the controls here on the rear, of course, you have your 2 air conditioning vents here, but you actually have quad or 4-zone climate control. So you have dual zone in the front, and as you can see, you have dual zone here in the rear as well. And here's the neat thing about these rear seats is that they are heated and cooled, as are the front seats. Not something you see in every single vehicle. And of course, you've got your USB ports right here, as you can see, and a 12-volt power outlet right there as well. So technically you could have 3 USBs back here. You just have to buy the adapter to use for the 12-volt outlet. And just a real quick look here, probably not going to be the best view, but I'm going to give you the best I can here of the panoramic sunroof from this particular view, and then we'll hop up into the front seat and take a look at what you can expect there. Just a quick look at what you're going to find with the passenger door. Of course, nice materials here, and they're going to hold up. These are not cheap materials that are going to wear out over time. Nice large door bin right here, and of course you do have seat memory not only here on the passenger side but on the driver's side as well. Power seats for the driver and passenger. Just a quick look at what you have here on the passenger side, and here is how you're going to open the lower and upper glove compartments here, just to show you what's there. And just a quick look here at the driver's side door. Basically a mirror image of the passenger side door with, of course, some exceptions here. Here's how you're going to control the mirrors. Those are power folding heated side view mirrors, by the way. So quite a nice feature there. And I do like the door sill right here. Very nice, very clean look. Got the aluminum sporty looking pedals down there, and a fully adjustable power steering wheel. And we'll just hop here into the inside. I'm going to hit the starter button right here and get everything started up. And as we take a look at the dashboard, of course, that is customizable. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit menu, and then you can scroll across. You have several different options and settings and different features that you can go through. I'm not going to go through everything, but here's what I'd like to show you. You can go here to layout, and you have a few different options as to what you can change. So if you want to go to, say, one dial, all I'm going to do is hit OK right there. In fact, we'll get back here and do it so that you can actually see what happens. And of course, you still have that menu up right there. So if you want to change it again, there you go. You can make that change, and it works really well. And so it's customizable depending on how you want it to look and what you want to see and or not see. Now I'm going to leave that on 2 dial just so you can see that. And just to run through some of the other information that is here, just so you can kind of see, all I'm doing is just scrolling left or right to do that. Very easy to see what is going on with the vehicle, and depending on what you want to do, of course, no problem. And like I showed you, there is the button to start the engine and shut it back down. And of course, a little bit better look at the buttons here for opening the lower and upper glove boxes. And here's some of the technology that has definitely helped to keep this model very viable and very popular when it comes to those who may wish to buy them. And a lot of great features here. You can go in and make numerous changes and see a lot of nice features here. Of course, you've got the camera right there, and as you can see, that's the rear view camera. Now, one thing you might notice is that you may say, I don't like that white background on the center screens, and so you can change that right there. Just as you can see, it's that easy to change. And I'm not sure which one shows up best on the camera, but we'll go with that. And here, the plus and the minus, if you want to change the angle of the screen itself, that's how you're going to do it. Just going to hold down that plus or minus, even though it kind of pulses its way up and down. You don't have to actually do this. I know a lot of people do that, and I used to do that until I realized that you can change the angle by simply holding that down. And you can go in here, of course, to camera settings if you want to. And as you can see, not a whole lot there. You can just turn it on or off if you want to, depending on what you want to do. And there's a back button right there. There we go. Of course, there is the rear view camera. And as you can see, here are some of the features you have. Even ambient lighting, you can make adjustments there. Let's see, there we go. And as you can see, that's really easy to do. So not a big deal, just basically what I just did right there. Just touch the color you want on the screen. And unfortunately, it's a little bit bright outside today. We're not shooting inside, so I can't really show you the effects of what that does. But it's definitely there, and everything's very easy to use, a very easy system to use and learn. And of course, here with the lower screen, as you can see, here is everything for the air conditioning. Again, very simple to figure out how to use. I know I probably overstate this point, but if this is technology you've never had before, it's nothing that's difficult to learn. It's very simple, nothing to be afraid of. Don't say, man, I'd love to buy a brand new Land Rover Range Rover Sport, just like what's in the video, a 2021 model. But that technology is intimidating. It's not, guys. It really isn't. It's just so simple to learn no matter what. And like I said, you do have the heated and cooled seats, and it's as simple as this. Notice it's cooled right now. All I've got to do, if I want to change that to heated, is just turn the dial, and you do it appropriately or according to which side you want to change. And of course, one can be on heated, one can be on cooled. Very, very simple and very easy to use. Now I'm going to turn that off, even though cooled would actually do pretty well today in November. And to change the fan speed, all you're going to do is push that little fan down there, and that setting is changed here on the right hand side, as you can see. Really simple to use, but you do control everything for the air conditioning and your heated and cooled front seats through the screen right here. And here's something you might want to know about. If you're not a fan of the auto stop start feature, notice that's off right there. I'm going to turn that back on just so you can see. That's where you make that change. And several different driving modes for pretty much anything you may encounter, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not going to go through every single one and talk about them here. I'm just going to show them to you on the screen. But all I'm doing is just turning this knob right here, this little dial, I should say. It's not really a knob, is it? It's a dial. And if you want to let the vehicle automatically select for you, you can press that down. You can also raise and or lower the height of the vehicle depending on what your situation is. As you can see, I'm raising the height of the vehicle right there. I'm going to lower it, pushing that down arrow, as you can see right there, just to kind of show you what's available. Very, very nice technology here. And of course, this is your shifter. If you haven't ever seen this shifter, it's not difficult to use. There's just a little button you're going to push on the front that lets you go into drive and neutral or reverse, and then you just hit the P, of course, right there to go into park. It's actually very, very easy. And if you want to shift manually with the shifter, as you can see, all I did was just bump that over to the left. But you also have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters if you wish to use those as well. And there's a good look at your steering wheel mounted controls. Very easy to use, very easy to learn. Of course, you've got your cruise control, and just everything here really pretty easy. But I like the fact that everything just looks real high end, because it is. It's not cheap imitation materials or anything like that. And of course, you've got a hill descent control right here. If you wish to use that, you can turn your traction control off if you need to or want to. And that is actually a mini refrigerator in there. So that actually does get very cold, and you control that right here. That's on high, low, and off right there. And then of course, another 12-volt power outlet, more USB ports, and a slot here for a memory card. And just a quick look at the seats here. And I do have the power shade closed right now to help us out with our interior tour, just so we don't have too much light in here. Nice bolstering, and like I say, heated and cooled, very comfortable, very convenient. So how about the drivability of this model? Let's get it out on the road and take a quick test drive, which, by the way, before I do that, here are the controls for your sliding sunroof and for the shade for the sunroof as well. Everything very easy to get to, and like I said, very easy to figure out if this is something you're just stepping into for the first time. Okay guys, we're gonna get out on the road for a quick test drive with this Range Rover Sport. And while this is not the most powerful model you can get, it still has plenty of get up and go. And especially with the all-wheel drive, this model has no problem getting down the road. If you step on the gas pedal, it's going to go. And thankfully, I didn't have to step on the brake pedal there. As you could see, another one of our wonderful Shreveport drivers that came over the center line because somebody was turning in front of them. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program on our test drive. My goodness. If you ever wonder where the worst drivers in the world are, they're right here in Shreveport. Anyway, I'm enjoying driving this Range Rover Sport aside from the bad drivers. And it is a wonderful vehicle to drive. Very comfortable, easy to get around, very maneuverable. And I do like the feel of the steering wheel, of course. This is a heated steering wheel, so if it cools down sometime this winter here in Northwest Louisiana, I'm not sure if it's going to or not, but if it does, this could come in very handy. And of course, this model rides extremely well. And as I showed you earlier, depending on what your situation is as far as where you're driving and what you're doing, there's pretty much a mode for everything. And you might wonder, well, what good is that if I'm going to spend that kind of money on a vehicle like that if I'm not going to go driving in the mountains or in the sand, or even there's a grass mode, a mode where you can drive off in the grass and all that stuff. As you probably saw earlier when I was scrolling through those modes, you might wonder, what use is that if you're just going to drive around town and stuff like that? Well, it not only helps in all of those multiple situations, but the way this model is set up, it also helps in any situation you're going to encounter out on the road, whether you're in slippery driving conditions, whether the road's wet or maybe snowy or icy or whatever. You're going to basically be able to take advantage of the capabilities of this model no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. And that's really what it's designed for, to help keep you and your passengers safe wherever you may choose to go, whether it's downtown where you live, or if you do want to go into an extreme situation, off-roading, off-driving in the sand, whatever. This model is equipped for that. It's got the power to get you around in those situations, and obviously good capabilities here. Now, I haven't really been able to test the acceleration or the braking here just because I've got this one vehicle in front of me up here, and we just didn't take the right route today. We wanted to take a different test drive route, but not really a big deal. But I will say, I just like the overall drivability of this model of the Range Rover Sport. It is extremely comfortable. The ride quality is very smooth. You won't find that it has a harsh, rigid ride, pretty much no matter what driving mode you choose. Easy to see out of. Visibility, not a problem. Of course, you do have all those driving aids to help you out in whatever situation. If you're in a lot of traffic and need to keep an eye on what's going on in front of you, you've still got the driver aids to let you know what's going on around you and give you any warnings that are necessary and all that good stuff. Just typical of these Range Rovers. Very enjoyable vehicles to drive. You can set it up to fit your desires, even your personality. You've got the customizable lighting for the ambient lighting here in the interior. Just an overall A+. Really like this model. The only model, or the only change I would make if this was something I was going to get a Range Rover Sport, is I would definitely have the 5-liter V8. But everybody has their preferences. You are going to save a little bit of gas money with this 6-cylinder. Anyway, I sure appreciate my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch. I really appreciate it, guys, and remember to tell me what you would like to see me feature. If there's a particular vehicle or maybe a particular feature on this vehicle or any other you want me to do a quick tutorial on, let me know down in the comments and I will do everything I can to make that happen for you. I'm also working to get into some new dealerships, so hopefully we'll have some fresh content soon with some vehicles I haven't featured before. Sure appreciate all of you for taking the time to watch, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.